Have you ever wanted your own TV show? Have you dreamed of showcasing your talent for the world to see? Well, now you can. Have your own TV show. You can have your own 30-minute show. Not only will you be seen in the Detroit area, but you can be viewed worldwide. Be seen on WHPR Detroit Live, Comcast Cable Channel 91, on the web at TV33WHPR.com, with the TV33 app, on Roku, Google TV, Apple TV, and on Amazon Fire TV. Act now. Time slots are limited. Sign up today and get a free replay with the purchase of your time slot. For more information, call 313-868-6612. Visit our studios and receive a free TV interview to promote your business, church, or organization by appointment only.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and All right. Family, this is the Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones, and you say, what the heck is he doing? Well, what I'm doing, family, is I'm responding to the fact that the studio is opening up, and we're talking about potentially bringing folks in. I'm talking about potentially opening the show up to bring folks in, and at the same time, I cannot ask people that are coming in, have you had your injections? Have you all shot up? Got all your injections? I can't do that, so I have to make sure that I prepare myself to make sure that I just take care of my business. It's taking care of me. Right now, again, this is Talk Beat Jones, and I am Billy E. Jones. And family, I'm going directly to the point. They have found another variant that we are looking out for. And that variant is something that they say that if you have the Pfizer protection, if you have one injection, there's a 33% chance that you are protected. If you have two of the Pfizer injections, you have an 88% potential to be protected. And this is supposedly another very terrible variant. I'm not wanting to take any chances, and yet I want to be able to, the first person that I'm looking to bring into the studio to be a part of the Talk Beat Jones program live in the studio would be my partner, Michelle Broughton. And everything outside of that would be upon a case-by-case, talk about it and see what we can do. But I want to say to you family members out there, if you have yet to get yourself taken care of, gone and got your shot in the arms, let us be sincerely serious about the fact that you can't just take one injection and say, I'm good. It's not over with yet. It's not over with. We are still going through the process of saying, be careful, wear your mask, because you have no idea what the other folks are doing and what type of variant may be going around with those people. So I'm not taking any chances. The one thing that we know here inside the studio is that the studio is safe, it's clean, it is protected. We have our antiviral stuff going on, etc. But the process again is understanding as we are going through the process of saying, Billy, are you ever going to have folks in the studio with you? Yes, but I will be having a mask. And I'm going to practice wearing my mask just to be safe and to be sure that I can do this and that you will be able to understand me. I want to practice. So you've seen my face since 2006, 2007, those of you. And for those who may want to wonder, what does he look like? I have 185 shows on demand that you can go and pick up and see in the WHPR TV on-demand situation. Before I go, let's see who this is. This is Talk B. Jones. I'm Billy Jones, and who am I speaking to, please?
Good morning. This is Michelle Broughton in Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, hold on, please, and let's lock this other person in. Hello, this is the Talk B. Jones. I am Billy Jones, and who am I speaking to, please?
This is Theo Broughton from Hood Research.
Oh, okay. Broughton and Broughton. Hold on, please. Thank you, ladies. And so, family, that's what this is about. Also, I have some questions, and before I go into my host, I'm going to go through a few things. We have a situation. We have Kwame Kilpatrick. He's back. And Kwame Kilpatrick is coming back. Let me read you the report so I can give it to you accurately. Report says Kilpatrick will remarry and join the ministry. Former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick is embracing his freedom with some big changes in his life. He's getting remarried, plans to join the ministry, and is leaving politics for good, according to Deadline Detroit. So with that, we have an announcement, of course, that we heard from Reverend Dr. Jim Holley, that former Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick will be doing services Sunday at his church, Little Rock Baptist Church, and Kwame Kilpatrick will be there doing his sermon. How about that? Now, how many of you think that you feel that you need to run to the church because Kwame is going to preach on Sunday? That's going to be very, very interesting. I'm very happy for our former mayor that he's ready to get his life on the good foot and stay there. He says he has no interest in politics, that this is what he wants to do. That's what his life is destined to carry out ministry. He wants to go and serve the Lord and serve his people. Fantastic with that. Before I go on, let me just, Michelle?
Yes.
What do you think about that?
I think everybody needs a second chance, and he is well educated. Now here he's going to school to learn about becoming a preacher and preaching the word. That's wonderful. Mm-hmm. But everybody deserves a second chance, because so many have done worse and never saw a day in jail, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes.
So I'm happy for him, and I hope it works out for him, because when he was here, the other stuff, yes, but he also did good for the citizens of Detroit.
Okay.
That I know.
Okay. Hold on now.
And so one day maybe I'll be getting remarried, huh?
Oh, you're not married right now?
No, I am not.
Well, you tell that guy he better slip a ring on it. Hold on. Miss Theo?
Yes.
Can I quickly get your comment on the fact that we have our mayor, Kwame Kilpatrick, is here to be preaching this Sunday at the Little Rock Baptist Church? We'll just take a comment on that issue right quick.
Oh, well, I'm glad that he's following a different path. I'm glad he's getting remarried, but I'm concerned for him being inside the city of Detroit. There was a lot of hatred that was raining down on him.
Well, we'll come to that, because I'm not finished. I'm just giving you a little tease, and then you can give me your thoughts about that, because I wanted to speak on the fact that he has his detractors, but he also has a lot of advantages with the leadership here in Detroit, from Mike Duggan, the mayor, to the folks in the ministry. All of those folks want to be the persons that's going to assist Kwame Kilpatrick in his new endeavors. So yeah, we all have our detractors and have things that people say and whatever, but you know, he's a strong man. He'll handle that. And again, by going into his faith, that's going to make him stronger. We'll come back to you in just a few moments, please. Also, family, we want to go into corporate racial diversity. I mean, diversity certainly is in. They talked about the fact that before the George Floyd situation, that the corporations had was about 88 to 89% white folks, and even less when you talk about the other folks on the boards. Even less of those persons made the list of that were black men. But after the George Floyd situation, now the corporate situation is reaching out to black folks to try to see if they can get them on the board and get them involved, etc. So that has another type of influence in that different direction there. Also, we'll come back. We want to have some information about the money that's being developed for the students, the pre-K students, and I'm sure we have someone that can talk about that. I also want to let you know that the Talk Beat Jones, of course, we're on the air every Wednesday from 10 to 11 o'clock, from 10 to 11 o'clock on Wednesdays, and we have a repeat broadcast. That repeat broadcast is on Sundays from 8 to 9 p.m. on WHPR TV 33 is our base. 152 is the other one, and of course corporate cable channel 90, and I can give you the Roku, the Amazon, the Apple, and et cetera, all your smart streaming devices, etc. We're there. But I'm getting to this. We know, and as I listen to the radio stations and people are talking about persons that are opposed to the charter ballot. Charter being on the ballot. Bring it up back, please. The people being on the charter ballot. Thank you. Being on the charter ballot. The person that is being highlighted on the radio is Reverend Horace Sheffield. And so to listen to the radio personality, you would think that it is that Reverend Horace Sheffield is the person that is all involved. And then as I look and I see all of these groups, all of these officials, all of these people that are heading up the group that's opposing the charter being on the ballot. And I'm wondering, why is it that we have all of these people in groups and officials that are opposing the charter at this point, and yet during the time that the charter was being put together, they had nothing to say? Nothing. And why is it that they don't want the people to read what's in the charter, but but they seem to have an inside scoop into what the charter is going to do to the city and the different amenities in this city, but the people don't know. The people don't know. And while I'm looking for this, I'm going to put Michelle, I'm going to put you on conference. Tap, you're on conference. Okay. And Theo, I'm going to bring you on so that the three of us, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world, you can join us today as we talk a little politics as well as what's going on around the world. We do have an open line. You can join us if you choose. Otherwise, you can just get that good education that we're going to bring to you from Detroit, Highland Park, Michigan, on the Talk Beat Jones. Michelle,
Yes.
Before we get into the charter and that situation there again, can you tell us, do you have any information about the monies that the mayor, that the governor is talking about is coming to help with our pre-K students?
We're supposed to be receiving $1 billion.
A
Would it
billion? Mm-hmm.
be $1 billion.
Okay.
Would it be? And as a union officer, I understand it that it isn't for salaries.
Mm-hmm.
So it won't be used for that. It's supposed to be used for programs, keeping students and staff safe, so more PPE and the cleanliness and all of that, because as you mentioned earlier, there is a new variant, and, you know, eventually it comes to Detroit and all of that. So I do know that they're using it to keep the schools safe, and they're using it for programs because children have lost a year and a half of in-person learning.
Yes.
So we have to get ready to shore them up.
Okay. Hold on one second. Uh-oh. Tell your mom to call me back. I lost her. I forgot that she was not on the conference. Call her and let her know that, okay? Caller, this is the Talk B. Jones. I'm Billy E. Jones, and can I get your first name, please? I'm going to put you on hold. Hello?
Otis from African Town, 4216.
Okay, Otis, hold on, please. I'm trying to, yes, Michelle, help me get Miss Theo back, please.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so I forgot that I have you on the conference, but I didn't have her on the conference. So while I do that, can you talk and do that at the same time, Michelle?
Yes.
Okay, well,
She's
let's talk.
trying to get back in.
Okay, well, I got her ready so that as soon as it rings, then I'll bring her back up. You can go ahead and start talking until she gets in. There she is. Hold on.
Okay.
Theo?
Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry. Let me put you on conference too. There we go. Now I won't lose you again. Okay, Michelle, you continue, please. Thank you.
So let me see. They had a school board meeting. They didn't talk about it too much, but for the future, everybody that's concerned, they need to zoom in on the school board meeting, and then Dr. Vitti and his team will be telling us his vision of how he's going to use the money.
Okay. And if you were involved with deciding how the money was going to, oh, I see it now. We're going to go, how would you think that the schools need the money? Or you just, but you are, would you tell them who you are with the schools, please?
I'm an educator, and I'm also a union officer for the Detroit Federation of Teachers.
Okay.
So working in the classroom, having a class of my own, the money needs, I'll always say this, it has to go to the children. It has to go into the classroom.
Okay.
So they need services. So let me tell you one thing nobody talks about. We need nurses in every school. We need social workers. We have said on this show, the family is suffering. The kids are suffering. They don't know who to talk to, how to express it, and sometimes it may come out, they could be introverts, or they could be upset and don't understand why they're upset. And they could not focus on their learning because death has occurred. COVID has taken a lot of our family members away, and we are not talking about it. And sometimes parents don't understand that the kids have feelings even though they can't express it. So in school, it comes out in different ways. So we need to address all of the concerns or ills, everything that takes to become a whole person in a community needs to be addressed.
Okay. And Miss Broughton, Theo.
Yes.
You know, I want to do a quickie, and not just yet, but I do want to have an opportunity to speak to you about your affair that you're going to have, but I want to hold on to it for a minute because I want to talk to you about it. You've had quite a few folks come through your program that were seeking political office. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And you've had folks that have been successful in moving on and being elected in your and being helped through your program here at TV 33 WHPR WHPS, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Why do you do that?
Well, it's a matter of information as well as educating the community. As some have noticed, the syndicated media is not a friend of the community, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
They black out information that the community needs to know. And Hood Research believes that people would do better if they knew better.
Okay.
And we are aware of the money that's for the Detroit public school system, as Michelle has stated, and also an almost equal amount is for the city of Detroit through the mayor and council. And then $220 million is going to the county for the community. And the syndicated media has not spent much time on sharing this information with the community. And that is unacceptable to us.
Mm-hmm.
So as someone who has a program there at WHPR as well, we spend some of our time sharing information that they need to know.
Okay.
Because an educated voter votes his interest, the community's interest, and things will come out a lot better for everybody here, not just a few.
All right. We'll come back with you after the commercial break, but I want
Okay.
you to stay with us, okay?
Sure.
And Otis, I'll get you right after the break. And family, once again, this is the Talk Beat Jones, and again, I am Billy E. Jones, and remember, the program is on the air every Wednesday. It's from 10 a.m. until 11, and the repeat broadcast is from 8 to 9 p.m. on Sunday nights. And for those of you who are just tuning in wondering, what the heck is this guy doing? I'm wearing a mask. I'm wearing a mask. If you notice, it's not over my nose. It's just here. Just here. And, you know, we want to kind of let everybody know you still got to wear your mask. That's a variant going around. And if you've only got one injection of the Pfizer, and that's the best one, you're only at a 33% protective rate. 33%. And this new variant is not planned. It's a terrible variant. You need to make sure that you're keeping yourself safe from this table that I sit at on my show. I do not have State Rep Isaac Robinson. I do not have Mr. Tom Wilson that I know. I don't want to hear about nobody else saying I had one shot and I thought I was good and I got this variant. I got to go to commercial break. I'm sorry. I got to go to commercial break. We'll come back and talk about it after the commercial break, family. Thank you.
Last year we played with no fans, just quiet, empty stands.
It wasn't the same. We want you all in the game.
So step up to the plate and make sure you're safe.
Want to take a swing at COVID-19?
Get your vaccine.
The COVID vaccine is safe and effective, and it's available now.
Hi, this is LaWanda,
This is R.J. Watkins.
coming to you to bring you some information about the #1 detox in the nation, Lemon Burn. Lemon Burn helps to turn the fat into fit. It's for you, a happier, healthier you, because you know healthy is the new beautiful. An all-natural way to improve your health. It promotes a healthy digestive system, attacks and reduces belly fat, as well as gives you energy. Need to get yours today. Call 313-868-6612.
Don't forget to exercise and eat right.
Watch WHPR and TV 33 when you want, where you want, how you want. WHPR is now in your pocket. Download our free app by going to the App Store or Google Play and enter WHPR TV in the search engine. And there we are. You can download WHPR TV or radio. You heard about it. Now come be a part of it. Roku Detroit Worldwide. Approximately 8 million viewers. We at Watkins Broadcasting care about the health and safety of our viewers and listeners. During this novel coronavirus pandemic, please protect yourself and others. Wash your hands well and often. Avoid touching your face. Cough and sneeze into your sleeve. Practice social distancing. Stay at least 6 feet away from others when in public and only leave the house when it's essential. Stay safe. You are important to us.
You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones and I must say this, it's just so comfortable in the studio. I want to thank the engineer, technician, all of that, the great one here. I could have worn my suit. I knew I was going to burn up. I'm so comfortable. He has this office or this space so comfortable, cool. He's taking care of everything from the safety perspective to the cooling perspective to the sound perspective. I love my guy. Thank you, Tim. We're going to put everybody on the ability to talk. But the only thing I ask, family, is that we talk one at a time. And if you hear my voice, please stop talking so I can make sure that we don't have that over talk, okay? Mr. Otis, you're there, correct?
Yes.
Otis Mathis. You got to speak up, Otis, a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you, but just make sure you keep your voice up, Otis, okay? Thank you. Otis, we're going to get into the charter a little bit later, a little bit more, and I have some more information that I want to bring to the table. But before I do that, and I just want to let you know that you're hooked in, okay? You're on the conference call as well. So it won't be no oversight with you this time, okay?
All right.
Miss Theo?
Yes.
They had a lot of conversation about Tulsa and about our places that were destroyed, black places that was destroyed. Did that ever happen in Detroit?
Not in the manner that it happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Give us
however, that was the first bombing in the United States. Greenwood is the name of the area within Tulsa, Oklahoma.
No, I don't want to talk about Tulsa. I want to talk about Detroit and the comparison to how we lost Black Bottom, etc.
Okay. Well, the way we lost Black Bottom is through a freeway. Freeways are introduced when the administration wants to eliminate a community, and gentrification, which means Negro removal.
Theo, can you speak a little louder, please?
Yes. Negro removal is what was wanted. That was to get rid of X number of black folks. So a freeway was put in, 375 connected to I-75. And those people had to be relocated. And during that relocation, those who were in need of a Section H voucher, which is a voucher that assists low-income people in renting in another location, were forbidden to be issued to the people in Black Bottom and also other places in the city. The large freeway.
Let me jump in because see, people run through that too quickly. The Section 8 vouchers, for folks who don't understand, is me. For instance, if I can't pay rent, Martin can, of course, didn't buy a house, and I qualified to be assisted to have the government pay for my rent, they will give me a voucher that I can give to an owner of a home that's inspected by the Section 8 people. That says, here, we will take care of that. We'll pay. And your tenant will only pay X amount of dollars, a few dollars. Well, for those places in the suburbs, those people were able to get their mortgages paid by people that were bringing to them their Section 8 money.
Mm-hmm.
But the people that were living inside of Detroit could not get that money to help keep their homes.
Correct.
So the Section 8 Section 8 was done in a fashion that it helped the white folks. It weakened the inner city where the black folks were.
Mm-hmm.
That was what the Section 8 did, and I want to say that it did it here in Detroit, and it did it in Oakland, California too.
Mm.
So I want folks to understand. That's why I want to break in and let people know that that's the manner that they used the Section 8 to move black folks out, support white folks in the suburbs, that allowed white folks to have their homes taken care of, and they were able to invest and come back into the inner cities and have their properties being taken care of by the government through black folks moving in and paying their mortgages.
Mm-hmm.
Please continue.
That's correct. That was the biggest insult or assault on the black community.
Okay, so
it
now
also destroyed many black-owned businesses.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now we're going to move. I just want to hit on that real quickly.
Sure.
Michelle?
Yes.
Would you help us understand why is it that people are so opposed to the charter? And maybe I should give you a little bit. A group of community leaders, business and state officials are firmly standing against revising Detroit's charter. Members of the Detroit Charter Revision Commission led public meetings for several years seeking community input on proposed changes they want to see to modernize and improve the city's government document. Some changes sought to be put on the August ballot include helping to close the digital divide, improving water affordability, and establishing a reparation task force for African Americans to eliminate institutional and structural racism. Mayor Mike Duggan's administration has argued that the changes could cost about $2 billion over 4 years, which the Charter Commission disputed. Community leaders are concerned that these high costs will be an avenue towards state control and emergency management because the city will be unable to balance its budget. Organizers also argue these additional costs will put public services such as police and fire at risk and hinder job creation for Detroiters. The organized opposition comes in the midst of a dramatic legal fight as supporters attempt to win a pending Michigan Supreme Court case to keep the proposal on the ballot. Proposal P is a problem for the city, says Charlie Beckham. People, I won't go into that. Beckham said issues the Charter Commission raised, some of which include water affordability, ensuring broadband access, shouldn't be ignored, but the city has numerous organizations providing services for Detroiters, including Detroit Promise Zone, et cetera, et cetera. Now, let me give you some names. Mark Young, president of the Detroit Police Lieutenants and Sergeants Association, said he also opposed the proposed changes that could harm institutional knowledge by eliminating higher law enforcement authorities, such as reducing the number of police commissioners from 11 to 7. Proposal P handcuffs leadership, he says. Others, others expressed concerns about the impact change in the city's charter could have on its retired employees and their pensions. Alan Lewis said the city cannot face another bankruptcy. Lewis is president of the Detroit Retired City Employee Association and plaintiff in a lawsuit fighting the ballot proposal, said if the city faces another bankruptcy, government will dip into the pension funds. Now, the coalition includes a long list of community leaders and Detroit's area politicians, including state reps Tanisha Yancey, Shara Tanador, Joe Tate, Tyrone Carter, Helena Scott, Karen Whitsett, Stephanie Young, and State Senator Marshall Bullock, according to a news release. Other signatures opposing the revisions include Detroit Regional Chamber's President and CEO Sandy Baruch, B-A-R-U-A-H, Sheila Cockrell, former Detroit City Council member, political consultants Adolph Mungo and Steve Hood, and former Detroit Police Chief Ike McKinnon. I'll take comments from any of you.
Okay, so from the briefness that you read, it sounds like the charter was finally going to be a people's charter. So I haven't read it. I've been calling around trying to get a copy of it. But listen, if you're the mayor and somebody wants to take your power away, of course you're against it, because you plan to run, you plan to win, and then your future person or persons that want to become the next mayor don't want you to take away the power, because people get drunk with power.
Can you hold it right there?
And
Wait, Michelle.
Yeah.
Hold it right there, please.
Okay.
For the people who are wanting to be the mayor don't want the power reduced, right?
Correct.
We're having, and I'll take a comment from Theo or Otis. So we're having the person that by this radio personality spearheading on the radio, Reverend Sheffield, who is the father of Mary Sheffield, the president pro tem of the city council.
Correct.
And the city council voted to not give the commissioners their money to educate the community.
Correct.
And if my mind is correct, one thing that you did is talk about memory. If my memory serves me correct, it was not too many years ago that Reverend Sheffield was threatening Mike Duggan with running his daughter for mayor.
Exactly. So you got to play.
Okay, so I just want people to understand how the situation kind of unfolds. And then you have a man named Charlie Beckon who's been that for everybody. He's been every mayor that's come through.
They have relationships.
Okay.
They are all each other's supporters.
So now,
all those people you name run in the same circle, and it's not our circle.
But the question, and as we continue, is we have all of these folks. Where were they during the time that this charter was being put together and the people were coming out saying, this is what we want? There was a divide initially by the commissioners on that charter. We had those that was working, we felt, for the establishment, as opposed to the four people. And we had JoJo, and we had Nikki, and we had Barbara, and the other lady that we supported from the station. The station was not a part of that, but that was a Talk B. Jones.
Right.
Well,
And Otis, I hear you back there saying something. Go ahead.
well,
Otis, you got to speak.
initially, corporations and
Okay, Otis, we got a problem with your phone.
can you hear me?
Yes, please stay with it there now, please.
Okay. Initially, corporations and the politicians put
Speak.
up about $9,000 per candidate that they wanted to have elected to the Charter Commission.
Okay.
But the people
Once again, Otis, I'm having a difficulty hearing. It's not here. I need you to use your voice more and project. This is kind of different for you again. I know you're working with me on this, but try to speak louder, like you're in a room and you got to hit 2 rooms over.
Okay, how's that?
Try me now.
Initially,
Got it.
Corporations and politicians who were tied to the corporations put up $9,000. They thought it was going to be an easy campaign selecting 9 charter commissioners. But what happened was that Joanne and Nicole and them got out there and fought very hard for the people's rights.
And also Barbara Weiner.
Yeah, and the 4 that came on, but one of them turned out that came on your show to be a traitor.
No, we don't. We okay with that. Go ahead.
Okay, and what happened was it was a 5-4 with people having 4 and the businesses and the politicians you pretty much listed having 5. So they kept those 5 because they didn't get the 9. They kept the disorder. So black folks can see disorder and then they used it against us. But the people held out by going to all the meetings until they pulled it downtown. And that's what upset them. So they should vote yes on this charter. There wasn't no white people in those meetings throughout the city.
No, we had white folks in those. We had white folks that also attended those charter meetings.
There was very few in the city.
I understand.
You go downtown or somewhere, you can in the community rather, you could count them on your hand, and that was brought up. Where were they? Why weren't they here? You know, putting input in on the charter. The question was because white corporations, especially, they work for the politicians.
Let me do this real quickly because you put it something that's confusing. We're a city that has almost 85% black folks. So anything that you do, something that you're gonna have a minuscule number of white folks just coming out. However,
that's not true.
However,
I was in Eastern Market with a group. And there was 5 black people about the city and 300 and something white people.
However,
on those levels, there are a lot of white people.
However,
the money and the power.
However, we're speaking of these folks that I named, and all those folks were not black. Are they?
How many folks did you name wasn't black?
Okay, let me move on from you, Bob. Michelle.
Let's get the number.
Yes.
I want to speak to your mom real quickly.
Okay.
Theo?
Can I say something real quick before you go to her?
Sure.
Okay, back to what you said, I just wanted to add. People are still taking the Johnson & Johnson, and that is a one-shot deal.
Yes.
So it all depends on what vaccine you're taking.
Okay, now it's a funny thing. They did not even give us statistics during the time I was.
But I'm just saying it's out there, and people are taking the one Johnson & Johnson.
I'm just adding to the fact that so far they talked about the Pfizer. They didn't talk about the Moderna, nor did they talk about the Johnson, what effectiveness that those particular ones would have with this variant. They did not say during the report that I listened to. Okay?
Right.
That's all. Now, Theo.
Okay.
Yes.
Real quickly, your tour, and we're down on time, your tour is what date again?
This coming Sunday, June 13th. We'll meet on Woodward Avenue at 8 Mile Road, 12 p.m. That's 12 noon. We'll be going south towards downtown to Mack Avenue, left on Mack Avenue going east to Russell, right on Russell going south again, and we will culminate at Birch Marketplace. But we will be pointing out the black-owned businesses. You know, there are those folk who say, well, I would support black-owned businesses, but I don't know where any are. Well, this coming Sunday, we will be pointing out some of the black-owned businesses within the city of Detroit, and the majority of these that we'll be pointing out are on Woodward Avenue or right at Woodward Avenue.
Is it too late to join your tour?
No, it's not. We just ask if people would do an RSVP, but if you want any additional information, the number is area code 248-234-2371. Lastly, area code 248-234-2371.
Will Hood Research start having in-person meetings again?
Yes, we will. We've been waiting on the governor because each time we start, she comes in with another mandate. So it's on again, off again, fin again. So hopefully by July we'll do, in-person meetings. But as of right now, we have an afternoon with Hood Research every Saturday from 2 p.m. until 6 p.m. And that's to give people an outlet. As Michelle was saying, the school system needs nurses and social workers, psychologists too, if they can have them, because of so many deaths in our community from this virus. We've got to address that. So Hood Research does all that it can, and this outtake on a Sunday is to address those people who are having cabin fever. So come on out. It's safe because you'll be in your own vehicle. Nothing safer than that.
Okay. Otis, the president of the Detroit Retired City Employee Association is one of those. The coalition of area politicians, including etc., and the signatures opposing the revisions include Detroit Regional Chamber President, CEO Sheila Cockrell, political consultants Adolph Mungo and Steve Hood, and former Detroit Police Chief Ike McKinnon. Those are black folks.
You said white folks.
I said those are black folks.
Right. What about the white folks?
Sheila Cockrell's white, right?
Oh, yeah, now people realize that.
I'm just saying, so I don't have time to go discussing, but I understand.
Yeah, you're
So,
right. She's white.
Bro, listen. I only want to understand that we have those folks, those groups who are making up, who are made up with diversity. We know that. And the question was, where were they when this charter was being put together? Why was the opposition not brought up in the meetings so that the commissioners could have heard, discussed it, and voted it up or down?
Where they were thought they had a deal already done. They had already lost 4 seats from the funding. The big money was put up to elect 9 charter commissions. They thought if they can give an uproar and then the black folks in the city of Detroit see it on the news and things, would pay no attention. But black community came out.
Okay.
When
So now that the folks,
they thought since they had it, finding out now they didn't have it because some of those people on the board that was financed by those white business and black politicians whose livelihood depends on it had to leave. Because they was pointed out as employees of those people.
Okay.
So some left. That gave the community a stronger seat.
I'm on the time.
And that's why it's on the ballot, and we should vote for it. It is like young Theo said. It is
wait, hold on, Otis. The young lady's name is Michelle Broughton.
Okay, I nickname everything.
No, there's not a nickname. This is a business program, and we're not using nickname. Her name is Michelle Broughton, okay?
All right, Michelle Young Theo Broughton.
Thank you. I'll talk to you later. No, I mean, you're still there. But anyway, so Miss Broughton, Theo?
Yes.
What would you like to see done in terms of the ballot and the folks talking about the charter?
I would like to see the charter or question on the ballot. I would like for them to get out of the way. The Supreme Court appears to be in favor of it, and they're going to be the bottom line. And if they hurry up and get out of the way, then the clerk can have them printed, and the military will have an opportunity to weigh in on this. But for somebody to talk about we'll go back into bankruptcy is a scare tactic. It is a scare tactic. The city of Detroit was not at the level for bankruptcy when they came in with the fake trick of bankruptcy. It was not at that level. They did not give the truth on the value of the assets in the city. They undervalued the DIA, as a matter of fact. They undervalued the water department. Then they turned around and only took money from the retirees from 2003 forward. Isn't that interesting? All of those people would come under Mayor Coleman Alexander Young. So a lot of racism.
Wait. For folks who don't understand the significance of what you just said, is those folks that got in and been retired, those would have been the black folks. Is that correct?
Correct.
Go right
Majority black. You doggone right. Yes. So a lot of racism was in that. And if you look at the United States of America, you will notice that around the borders of the country, on the waterfront, is where land, etc., is being taken away from black people. In California, I think you mentioned one, Oakland, California. Venice,
yes.
California is right on the ocean. They are currently gentrifying Venice, California. And it is on the ocean. When you look at Florida, Rosewood was another community
Okay,
just like those
okay,
Oklahoma.
okay,
They're
we don't have
taking
the
it
time
away.
to go for more.
We are on the waterfront here in Detroit. They want us out. They want us out. Benton Harbor is on the water.
Okay, Michelle,
Yes.
what is your thoughts about that charter situation? And the fact again is, how will the people, when you have all of these people that are either elected leaders, former elected leaders, or people who are standing up and have been leaders, and they're saying, no, we don't want
They're
you
not
to vote.
leaders. They are drunk with power. And again, like you hinted at, maybe they had a peek at the charter and they actually understand. Finally, somebody is supporting the citizens, the voters, the people that live in the city. And what I see is that they don't care about us and they don't want us to benefit from the resources that we've earned. Because if you live in the city, I do, and you own a house, you pay taxes, you live here, your money is here, and you don't have city services like other communities, that's a tragedy. I wish in a better day, in a different world, they would have printed it out so everybody could have the same information at the same time. I could read it myself. I need us to vote on it because they're afraid. They're already putting it in a primary. Primary is always low turnout, but they're afraid that somebody's going to vote for the charter and they're going to lose their power. That's what it's about.
Okay, let me do this real quickly, and I have the three of you to comment, please. Beckham says, but the city has numerous organizations providing services for the Detroiters, including the Detroit Promise Zone Authority, which helps students across college, and the Black Family and Development Organization, which provides various social services for the community. Now, if these services have been here,
we're not benefiting from them.
Wait, somebody talk to me about it. I don't know about them. Somebody talk to me about it.
How long they been?
We're not benefiting. So real quick, I'm sorry, Otis, real quick. I work with the schools. I'm an educator. If the student doesn't take advantage of Detroit Promise, say, for example, mama's sick, he got to take care of it, so he doesn't go into college as a senior, but he has to go the next year, he loses the benefit of that. He can't apply for that, so where's the help?
Okay.
How is that helping the kids that might have had to help their family before they could go to college?
So the things that he is citing is not effective for the Detroiters as opposed to what the charter...
It's a criteria, and if you miss it, you're penalized and you don't benefit from it. You have to fit the box in order to get to it.
Mm-hmm. Otis, you're saying something real quick. Go ahead, Otis.
Until now.
Otis, your voice is too low.
Oh, it's been around 10 years, and 10 years people just not hearing about it.
Right.
So what have they done? Those are the questions. It's like the Business Association, the Black Business Association, Downtown Business Authority, or whatever they call themselves.
Yes.
They are now in with the greater white organization. They're not independent anymore. About 3 years ago, that they absorbed the black business, the few that could wear suits and ties and had little offices downtown. So the thing about it is that list of people, and the state reps and things are term limited. They want to be council. And so if you give the power to the people, even on council in that charter, those state reps that's being term limited out, goals is to run for city council at least, will not have the power. It will be in the power of the people.
Okay.
And like Michelle, little Theo said, it's just power hunger.
Okay, Theo?
Mm-hmm.
Take your comment.
Well, organizations are getting sponsored by the government. That's extra money that can be used for the young people in this community. They're not so much upset about the charter taking power away from the mayor as they are upset that the people in the community are going to get benefits. The rent control, the water shutoffs, all of that is addressed in the charter. Why can't it be printed so we can read it for ourselves? We don't have to take their word.
I only have...
we can read it for ourselves.
Okay, I only have 2 minutes. Oh, wait, hold on. I only have 2 minutes. Hold on, I only have 2 minutes for this quick question. Do you feel that people are now looking at maybe Mayor Duggan may stay in for this term, maybe one more term? Are they looking to start positioning themselves such as Horace Sheffield maybe positioning his daughter to be a position to run for mayor and be the strong mayor candidate?
Yeah, that could be, and also could be that Kwame Kilpatrick was brought here to support the mayor. Is he helping him to pay off the money that he owes? He was not pardoned. His sentence was commuted, and he still owes the city of Detroit over $1 million.
Ooh.
What deal is there?
Okay.
That's true.
Okay, well, with
Yep, that's it.
Okay, family, with that, I'm going to have to ask each of you to start saying your goodbyes. I've got to go. My man, he's saying it's getting close.
All right. Google Hood Research and join us Sunday at noon, 8 Mile and Woodward.
Okie doke. And Otis?
It's a good conversation. Vote yes on the charter. Don't let those other people tear the city down when we, as majority African Americans, control it.
And Otis,
we control it.
And Otis, I want to thank you because again, we're working towards your recovery from your brain injury. I think you're doing remarkable, and you stay with us, brother, because I listened and I heard your name being mentioned prominently when you were a commissioner representing your part of the town. So thank you very much for joining us. Michelle, you want to do your closeout?
Yes, I want to close out. Family, stay safe. Be careful. Take care of everybody. I'll see you next week. Stay alert. Pay attention. Do your own research so that you understand we are bringing you the truth, and it can be fact-checked.
That's right. That's right. And family, once again, this is the Talk Beat Jones, and I'm here. The family is here every Wednesdays from 10 to 11 on Wednesdays. We also ask you to like the program, to share the program, share this information, because the things that's going on in Detroit, around the world, folks, we want you to know how it works in the United States of the America as to how the power is given and how the power is taken. We're going to talk about the nastiness, the dirty, the insights of politics that's going to happen right here in Detroit. And they say, Billy, you got to be careful. The only thing I have to be careful about is my faith in God. That's the only thing I have to be careful for. I fear no man, no persons, no nothing. I am Billy E. Jones. This is Talk Beat Jones. Share it, like it, love it. We love you. We'll talk to you Wednesday. Thank you, family. Bye now. You wouldn't have to go anywhere because this is the Talk Beat Jones, and